Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Laura Mock, the life coach for busy dentists, and I am here today to talk to you about how to sleep at night when your dental practice lives in your head. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? Picture this. You had a long day at work. You helped some elderly people with their root caries, and you helped a 5-year-old who had some class twos, and you dealt with some team issues. Maybe someone was on vacation or someone was sick and someone else had a problem, whatever. You hurry home, you got the kids, you got dinner, you got diapers, bath time, bedtime, all that stuff. You fall asleep. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when my kids were little, they're big now, you guys. My youngest is almost 15. But back when I used to tuck him in, when he was like 5, I would automatically go straight to my bed after I tucked him in. I wouldn't even brush my teeth. That's a true story. And I was a dentist by then. Anyway, what you do when you're tired, right? So you go to bed, you're tired. You're sleeping hard, but you wake up because you have a kid to tend to or because you need to pee or whatever. And then you're rolling over as you're falling back to sleep. And then you remember you forgot to check the shade on Mrs. Jones's number 8. Or you remember the argument that you had with your front desk person, or you realized, oh my gosh, this one happens to me all the time. I'll remember a patient that I haven't seen in a while, and I'll go, did they leave the practice? I need to check and see if they're on my schedule. It's so funny how that happens in the middle of the night. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but for me, once that happens, I'm going to go on a spinning spiral for at least another hour where I'm going to start worrying about my practice. And it's funny because sometimes I swear I worry more about my practice than I do about my children or my marriage or anything else. That practice is like a 5th, 6th, and 7th child for me. So, why does that happen? Have you thought about that at all? I mean, I have to tell you, I have talked to many of you, and I have to tell you, there's one thing that you all have in common, and that is that you are worried about your career and your practice. And you all think that you're alone, and you all think that everybody else has a better practice than you do. So, just FYI, I've lived in many of your heads now. So, and I have theories. I've talked to many of you, and I have theories about why we dentists worry so much. So it starts with how we were brought up as dentists. I always tell people that going to dental school is a little bit like going to Marine Corps boot camp. First, they break you down until you're no one. You're just a recruit, right? And then they build you back up and as a Marine. And it's the same thing in dental school. We spent our pre-dental years nourishing our grades, making them A's, making our professors happy. We knew how to do those multiple choice questions, right? And then we get to dental school and everything changes and they break you down. And you know you're broken when you get your grade back for your first wax practical. And you've had all this time where you believed that you knew how to get good grades, and now you find out that you're back at the beginning. And so then you hustle and you hustle and you hustle back to try to get those perfect grades again. And you've got your practicals and your clinical grade and pros, which who gets an A in pros? Not me. All these things that you're working on to try to get everything perfect. And then you land in private practice. And the first thing that happens in private practice is that you find out that time is money. So, you can't spend 2 hours doing one filling. You got to get up and do your hygiene exams. You got to pay your electrical bill. You got to pay for your equipment loan. You got to pay your team's salary. And we can't all just be standing around and keep a viable business, right? So we have this situation where Time is money, and there's pressure on our time. First of all, we're perfectionists. Second of all, there's pressure on our time. And that's not even just at work, especially after you have babies. You got to hurry home after you're done and go be a mom and a wife and be on the committee for whatever. Try to find some time to do continuing education in there. So then, the third thing that happens, and I don't know if any of you guys really know this in your conscious brain, but private practice is messy, meaning there's things that go wrong every single day. I'm not saying you guys are bad dentists. You're great dentists. But private practice involves thousands of tiny details every day. There's codes, there's money exchanged, there's procedures done, there's shades checked. There's all these things that happen every day, and it's bound to happen that there's going to be some mistakes. It happens, and we take those mistakes very personally. And you know why? Because of thing number one, because we were trained to be perfect. And so then we swim, our brains swim in this scarcity space where things never go right. Now, the keys to managing these factors so that they don't bother you so much. Number one, super important, you guys, accept the entropy. You can't make it perfect. You can't manage well enough that every single thousandth of a detail every time is going to be perfect. It's just not. Someone's going to get the wrong fluoride code. Someone's going to forget to add on the buccal pit that you did at the last second. Someone's going to forget to check a shade and write it on the sheet or a due date. Number two, you can manage what you can. And by what I mean when I say this is the more systematizing you can do in your practice, the less margin of error there will be. And so that's making procedure lists, and that's making sure everyone's cross-trained and helping each other. Systematizing is something that you can do with a dental business coach very easily, and it helps a lot. And that has helped in our practice. So there's a lot less chaos. And then number three is that you can learn some self-coaching skills. And what I mean when I say that is learning about thought management, because this is really important. What sits between our ears in here is a piece of complicated electrical meat, okay? That's it. It's it's electricity going through our flesh. And we have all these thoughts, and we think to ourselves, we don't even think, we just assume that what is going through our head is correct. We don't evaluate it. But if you think about it, these thoughts, most of them are auto-populated. They're auto-generated by the electrical meat based on things in the past. And if we learn how to manage these thoughts, meaning evaluate using metacognition, whether these thoughts are even valid or not, we can take away a lot of our stress. Because a lot of the things that we think about, they're not relevant, or we're worrying about them before they even happen, or whatever. And there's a couple of different ways that you can learn how to do some self-coaching. You could go back through my YouTube videos. I have several videos on self-coaching. I would start with one called The Thought Model in Action. Or, even easier, you could click a button and schedule a free session with me. I can teach you the basics of it, and then you could decide if you wanted to talk to me more. But keep in mind, even if you don't decide you want to talk to me more, I'll be thrilled that you would honor me by letting me teach you how to manage your thoughts a little bit more. So I hope everybody has a great day. It's summertime now. The leaves are finally green here in Iowa. And everybody have a great day, and we will talk to you next time. Take care.